Hold up. Last I saw, Wendy Williams and Nicki Minaj had officially squashed their drama, with Wendy even going as far as calling Nicki straight up an icon.
Think of Nicki Minaj, just know she's a winner. She's winning. She's winning.
Girl, hold up. So now I'm hearing that Nicki Minaj allegedly claimed that Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Jr., is the one who supposedly sold her out. And yeah, it's not totally false, but girl, why even bring this up now? I'm shook. Let's just dive into the tea. Okay, first off, for anyone wondering why Nicki would even drag Wendy and her fam into this, well, just say their history is kind of messy, and it all goes back to Nicki being a regular guest on Hot Topics. Honey, remember, Wendy also jumped in on the Nicki versus Megan Thee Stallion saga and straight up said she was Team Me, claiming Megan got Grammys before Nicki because, quote, Nicki is a mean person.
Mad that Megan got 3 and has only been out for a minute. Well, Megan earned them. You know how she earned them? By maybe being kind to the people around her.
Girl, listen to this. Wendy Williams didn't hold back on Nicki Minaj over the years. Back when Nicki was beefing with Remy Ma, Wendy dragged her hard, even mocking her music video with Future. She called Nicki washed up and insensitive and labeled her cover as straight up tasteless and desperate, even throwing shade at her plastic surgery. Yeah, Wendy has said a lot about Nicki over time. But hold up, the moment that really set Nicki off was when Wendy started talking about her husband, Kenneth, on Hot Topics, throwing all kinds of shade before claiming Nicki basically ruined her brand and her entire career just by marrying him.
Because now you've ruined everything about what your brand could be. Again, you're never going to stand a chance when you're with a man who pulls a knife at rape point. You know, and you're never going to stand a registered who wasn't even, you're never going to stand a chance with John Q. Public, because there's only one thing worse than touching and pulling knives, and that's, by the way, he did go to jail for manslaughter.
Girl, listen to this. Cheer, this one did not sit right with Nicki Minaj. On Queen Radio, she came through swinging, calling Wendy Williams demonic and vicious while breaking down Wendy's messy split from Kevin Hunter. First, she said, it's not just doing your job. There are people who report news, and then there are people who do it with straight-up evil in their hearts. Viciousness. I pray for you because I know you're hurting, humiliated. I didn't know in our world you have to be haunted by your past. I didn't know people couldn't turn over a new leaf. I didn't know your viciousness ran this deep. In that rant, Nicki also addressed the rumors that Kevin cheated on Wendy and even had a baby with another woman during their marriage, adding, when a woman isn't really loved at home, the viciousness is a different kind. So I really wanted to pray for you today. Look at where you are in life and your age. You've been sitting up there viciously all this time and even paid for that man's mistress for years. Shopping sprees, hotels, probably even her gyne. You paid for that baby to be delivered. How you doing, stupid? Sheesh, not even how you doing. Then Nicki wrapped up the rant saying, I know we're human first, before celebrities, before personas. I know you've been through a lot, but you are demonic, and that's why this all went down. If I were you, I'd pray and ask for forgiveness. You can report news all the time without all this viciousness and pretending to be dumb, doing nonsense. Baby, that was heavy. Now here's the twist. I don't know what else went down between Wendy and Nicki, but suddenly I'm seeing posts claiming Nicki is saying Wendy's son sold her out. Technically, not a lie, because Wendy herself revealed in her TMZ doc that the conservatorship started after Kevin Hunter Jr. withdrew huge sums from her account without her knowing. Wells Fargo flagged it, froze her assets, and boom, the guardianship got established.
You know, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. You know, like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo. Thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
All right, listen to this. Wendy basically admitted her son completely crossed the line, using her money behind her back without so much as a heads up. But hold up, she didn't stop there. She even hinted that other people could have been manipulating him and hanging out in her Miami apartment. Girl, she straight up said that while her son is a good kid at heart, he acted absolutely terrible toward her in that moment, especially with other people in her apartment doing who knows what. So, naturally, Wendy got asked about her son's wild spending habits, and she brought up the time Kevin Jr. supposedly wanted to rent a boat for his birthday for $1,500. You won't believe this, he somehow ended up with a boat that actually cost $113,000 to rent, and then he had the nerve to blame the bank, claiming they wanted him to have that. Yeah, okay, that makes zero sense. And don't even get me started on how this kid dropped $100,000 on Uber Eats and $120,000 on a single birthday, plus a whole bunch of other insane stuff.
Money that they questioned Kevin about for spending was like $100,000. To put it in perspective, Kevin's birthday party that year that his mom threw was $120,000. Kevin's rent was $80,000. Kevin's Uber Eats probably exceeded $100,000 that his mom approves.
Have you ever taken money from your mother's account?
Not without her consent.
Girl, listen to this. Wendy Williams says her son definitely wasn't acting alone in all this chaos. She pointed out again that he was probably being influenced to blow through her money. And hold up, she actually dropped that a woman had been pretending to be her on the phone, trying to scam even more cash. And it was her own son who brought this woman into the mix. Wendy said, "It's a woman around my age. This woman on the phone is pretending to be me. Red flag, Wells Fargo. Red flag. Red flag." And girl, thank God they stopped all that stolen money. And luckily, I still have some funds left. Apparently, this whole mess is what drove the massive rift between Wendy and her son. And if you remember, there was that heated moment when Wendy's brother, Tommy Williams, went off, claiming Wendy had abandoned her family. One thing he said, Wendy allegedly refused to let her son, Kevin Jr., into her penthouse. Tommy claimed that Kevin flew up to New York for her birthday, but when he got there, Wendy didn't let him in.
Fair to the main person who deserves fairness, their son. And my eyes are starting to open up. My patience is wearing. And their son is up there to spend what could be monumental time with his mother, if she opens the door.
See, at the time, it honestly didn't make sense why Wendy would shut her own son out of the house, until it came out that Kevin Jr. was actually the reason she ended up under conservatorship. Well, hold up, it didn't take long before Kev started feeling the fallout from his actions. In 2022, he got kicked out of his fancy $2 million Miami apartment and slapped with a $70,000 back rent lawsuit. The wild part? Wendy had been covering the rent, but allegedly couldn't continue because of medical and legal issues. Kev even had to step in front of a judge, claiming that due to his mom's health struggles, all the financial support he got from her, including his housing, stopped. He also said he was a full-time student, but had taken a year off to help take care of Wendy. Then, just weeks after Wendy showed up at her son's college graduation, Kevin Jr. reportedly got hit with a second eviction notice from his Miami apartment. Allegedly, he owed $4,316 in total, with the property's management warning him to pay up or be out by January 7, 2025. Anywho, that didn't mean Wendy was done with her son, because at the end of the day, he's her only child, and her love for him hasn't wavered. In fact, during a phone interview on Two Angry Men, the podcast hosted by Harvey Levin and Mark Garros, Wendy was asked if seeing Kevin would be awkward, and she handled it like a pro, even talking about how excited she was to reconnect. She also revealed she planned to head down to Miami, where several family members live, to celebrate her father's 94th birthday and might just catch up with her son if he shows. Actually, according to Wendy, there are two people she blames for how everything went sideways, the judge and her guardian. She said she's been doing important things her whole life, and those two, they don't look like her, don't dress like her, don't talk like her, don't act like her, and would never be her. She even demanded they back off. On top of that, Wendy made it clear she can't handle dealing with those two again.
I don't want a guardian. You know what I'm saying? I don't put it this way. I don't want Sabrina, period. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want guardian. You know what I'm saying? I want to get out of Guardian. It's been over 3 years. And you know what I'm saying? It's time for my money and my life to get back.
Well, that aside, here's what I'm hearing. Nicki Minaj has been stirring the pot and allegedly claiming that Kevin Jr. straight up sold Wendy out. Allegedly, Nicki has also been saying that Wendy trashed her husband non-stop, talking about how he ruined her brand, only for Wendy to end up being the one taken down by him. Guys, listen to this. Like I said, I honestly don't know if something went down behind the scenes that sparked this alleged explosion, but I gotta ask, what do you think about Kevin Jr. being the reason Wendy is in this mess and Nicki allegedly calling it out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.